Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm here in El Paso, Texas. Today we're going to explore Santa Teresa, New Mexico. We're going to explore a specific place that has a lot of historical memorabilia, historical artifacts, a place that you're going to love. Welcome to New Mexico. Today we're going to explore the War Eagle Air Museum. An air museum that was founded by John T. McGuire and Betty McGuire. They were both married. They lived in El Paso. They were fascinated with World War II history, fascinated with air flight, automobiles, and they started to collect their own airplanes. And as their collection grew, they decided that they needed to share this collection to the world to see. Check out this display right here. Now this display, as you're entering the parking lot of the museum, some of the things I like about these displays that they have here in the parking lot is that you can get really close. I mean, you can actually touch this right here. This is a radar system, you know, that the American military built. This is another radar system right here. And like I said before, you can actually touch it. You can get up and close. These missiles are pretty big, and you can tell that they're extremely heavy. Check out this tank right here. This is pretty cool. Well, let's head into the War Eagles Air Museum and explore it. You know what, earlier I said it was a War Eagle Air Museum, but it's War Eagles Air Museum. Here we are entering the War Eagles Museum, the War Eagles Air Museum, excuse me. You can see this is a huge hangar, and they have a lot of airplanes. They have some awesome automobiles. Right here, as soon as you enter the museum, to your left, they have a salute to women in aviation display. You know, they have various pictures and articles of pioneer women in the military that became air pilots. So right here you have a picture of Lois Hollingsworth Zylet. Lois, I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it. And it says WASP. So WASP is an acronym for Women's Air Force Service Pilots during World War II. And she was a service pilot during World War II, assigned to a 3rd TOW Target Squadron, Camp Davis, North Carolina. And then here you have Nancy Lowell Kraut, also a WASP, you know, Women's Air Force Service Pilots, assigned to 3rd TOW Target, Camp Davis, North Carolina as well. Whoa, check out this airplane right here, called the Curtiss P-40U Warhawk. Now how do I know that? Because it says right there. You know, times were a lot different back then, and I'm sure I don't think you can get away with doing something like that nowadays, especially even in the military. Whoa, check out this 1937 Buick. I love old automobiles, you know. And check out this mannequin right here. He's wearing a U.S. officer uniform known as pinks and greens. Oh, check out this piece of machinery right here. This is pretty cool. This is such a beautiful vehicle right here. One thing I've noticed as I'm walking around and looking at all these displays of military airplanes, military aircraft, I've been noticing that these aircraft back then, they were small. It was like the cockpit, it's so tiny. Oh, this is actually a Nazi aircraft, you know, used by the Nazis, and you have two mannequins right here displaying their uniform. I'm walking up to a platform right here where they're allowing us to, or the guest, to look into the cockpit of an airplane. As you can see, these cockpits were really tiny. You know, like, how do they even fit in there? The pilots must have been very claustrophobic, but You know, look at back then. This is an old airplane. You know, like an old jet. Actually, this is a jet. But look at all the buttons, all the displays, the gauges this thing has in order to fly it, in order to maneuver it. This is pretty cool. You know, you have your handle right here, and I don't know what this thing is right here. I don't know what that is. If any of you out there, you know what that is, I would love to know. Leave a comment down below. But this is pretty cool, pretty neat. Wow. This particular jet airplane right here, this was part of the German Air Force, and it's called the MiG-21, and it was donated to this museum by B. General Gunther Lutz, the commander of the German Air Force in the United States and in Canada. Well, this is like a flight simulator used by the Navy, and it's called the Link Trainer. Right here, it pretty much tells you what it was used for. It was a basic instrument device, and it was used for blind flying without visual reference to the ground or the horizon. Whoa, check out this car. It's a 1908 Overland. Wow, this is a beautiful vehicle right here. And it's actually a loaner from the University of Texas El Paso Centennial Museum. That's a beautiful vehicle. Well, this is pretty neat. This is a display of the different cameras that was used in the U.S. Army and the Air Force. I don't know what type of camera equipment this is, but this is pretty neat right here. These cameras were actually mounted on the airplane. Wow, this is pretty cool. There's a balcony here inside the museum, and pretty much you can see the whole building. You can see the displays, you know, all these airplanes, all these jets, and they have a lot of automobiles as well. Way over there towards the end of the hangar, they have a display of awesome automobiles. Oh, check out these airplane engines right here. They're huge. Huge engines. Whoa, look at this one. Whoa, what the heck. Wow, this is a beautiful vehicle right here. It's a 1936 Packard Super 8. You know, but a lot of these displays that they have here, like the airplanes, some of the automobiles, they're donated by other museums, but pretty much just to display. So some of these displays don't belong to the War Eagles Air Museum, you know, but check out this vehicle right here, this piece of equipment, you know, the 1939 Ford Business Coupe. Wow. Actually, this plane right here actually does operate, is used for training. You know, it's a very beautiful propeller airplane. Right here, as you can see, it's called the Tenneco TF-51D Mustang, and it's a two-seater. Oh, check it out, it has a Casper the Friendly Ghost. Whoa, check out the size of that bullet. The flak round and B-17 used in Africa in 1942. Whoa, check it out, this is a gun sight, and it's mounted in front of the pilot in a fighter aircraft. Well, check this out. It's a Ford Speedster right here, and it is stated that it is one of the very first hot rods, you know, here in the United States. It's the body's actually built, mounted on a team out of Ford. So that right there, that's a crank. That's a crank to start the engine.
You have to crank in the old days. In my day, that's where you have to start it. You let go of that thing when it starts.
Okay.
Because if you don't,
okay,
you bust your hand.
Wait, are those actual lantern type lights?
That's what they used.
So it would use kerosene, or what is it?
I have no idea what it is.
Oh, so this type of vehicle didn't use electrical lights. It used actual fire, like lantern. And the mirror in the back pretty much reflected the light out. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Back in the back, we got
if it wasn't for John T. McGuire and his wife Betty McGuire, for the fascination and their love of history, but not just any type of history, but World War II history, and the way they commemorated their love of history was to purchase and collect World War II airplanes, World War II type automobiles, and they loved, collecting these items. But their fascination grew and grew and grew, and they just had to share it to the world. But I just realized that I'm walking through a parking lot full of awesome automobiles. Check it out. You have a 1918 Oldsmobile Model 37AT, the 1932 Chevrolet two-door, 1934 model a Roadster with a rumble seat. Oh, check out these vehicles, man. They loved these vehicles. They love to collect, history. These vehicles right here, this is history right here. This is a kind of history that I love. What the heck is this? This is a 1908 Oldsmobile? Wow. I don't know Oldsmobile was that old. And I guess that's the oldest mobile, not automobile, but mobile. That's a horse and drawn carriage right there. And check out the similarities right here. You have a carriage right there, and that carriage is drawn by horses. It's pulled by horses. And check it out, the first automobiles, pretty much they were carriages with motors inside. That's what the first automobile was. All it was horse-drawn carriage with motors, with an engine. Check it out, it didn't even have a steering wheel. This one right here had like a stick, and you just turned it like that to turn the wheels. Check it out, the 1908 Oldsmobile. This is freaking awesome right here. But you can see how the automobile came to be. Pretty much all it was a carriage without a horse. See, you can see the similarities, and that's an awesome display that this museum has. Awesome display. But from that came this, and from this came these vehicles right here. These vehicles are more sophisticated, more thought of, well engineered. You have these right here. And then from these type of automobiles, then came these right here, these type of automobiles. You can tell these are a lot more, newer than those type over here. But look at these seem more well sophisticated. These vehicles from the 1930s, 40s, up to 50s right here. And then from these vehicles right here, you come to this one. Look at this one right here. The 1975 Lincoln Continental. 1975 Lincoln Continental. Now look at the difference between this and this right here. There's a huge difference. The Lincoln Continental 1975, huge difference between this right here. But there's not much difference between this 1908 Oldsmobile with the horse-drawn carriage. Pretty much look very similar. The only difference is that the 1908 Oldsmobile has a motor. It says a 1961 MGA 16, MGA, and it has right here on the grill MG. A British vehicle? I don't know. British vehicle or a German vehicle. I don't know what kind of vehicle this is, or maybe it's a US brand. See, this one's a 1954 MGTF. Oh, check it out. That's kind of like hence the reason why we call the trunk of the vehicle trunk. I guess originally it was kind of like a trunk. Whoa, check out this one. I didn't realize it's a 1972 Honda 600 GT Coupe. Phooey? 1973 Honda Civic. Well, the Civic has come a long way for all you Honda Civic lovers out there. Wow, check out the old Honda Insignia right there. I think it's a little bit different now than that one, but I'm assuming that's the original one right there. Wow, it's pretty cool. This one's still kind of nice. The Honda Suitcase Cycle. And this one right here, whoa, 1958 BMW R60. It's nice. And this right here, now this is what I can use right here. That's what I want to use. Something like that. Because no, I don't know how to ride these. And I'm afraid of these motorcycles right here. But this, it's more like me right there. It's more like me. You know, and it's funny because I'm taking selfies right now, and I have two cameras. I have my GoPro and I'm using my iPhone, and I'm using both cameras simultaneously. Sometimes I just use one camera for one thing or my iPhone for another. But I was using my GoPro pretty much to take video of me taking selfies with me. And there's this guy here laughing. I guess he thought it was hilarious. You know, but oh well. You know, I love history. I love this museum. It's pretty cool. Oh, check out these Jeeps right here. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Damn, check this out right here. V100 Commando Duck. Wow. You can go in the water. I wonder how deep it can go. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can put my camera in there before I get yelled at by someone that works here. This is pretty cool, pretty neat. It's right here at the backside. That's cool. This museum pretty much displays automobiles and airplanes. It's not so much teaching history of what happened during World War II. It's not that type of history that it's teaching. They have awesome, wonderful displays, you know, for children, for adults, for all of us who love history. Come visit this museum, War Eagles Air Museum. You know, this is an awesome museum to visit in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. Just come visit this museum. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And thank you for watching this vlog. Please subscribe, like this video, send this video to your friends, your family members, anybody who served in the US military, people who served in World War II, the Korean War. You know, many of you out there are in the military right now, overseas. If you're from El Paso and you miss El Paso, watch this video. You know, you'll love this video. So please subscribe and like this video. Thank you.